Okie dokie. Well, welcome back everyone to the stream. A couple things. I listened to the last stream where we started talking about the competition and whatnot, and as it turns out, my audio was super screwed up. NVIDIA broadcast used to be great, now it's not so great anymore, and it doesn't matter because you probably can't afford a NVIDIA graphics card anymore anyway, so I've just stopped using it. Anyway, we have with us today ReyeMe, all the way from the Czech Republic, if he undevons. And today, I believe the plan is to poke around with some of this year's updates with the Nyaa model converter, with SRL, and maybe, you know, do a little bit of whatchamacallit, brainstorming about how you would approach making some various games in service to the competition. With that said, let's just go over real quick again the competition details. Well, sorry, I keep calling it the competition. It's a showcase now. If you go to my website, the very first thing that you can click, that you can see there, is the link to the 31st Anniversary Homebrew Showcase. We're going to making a zine with all the entries. I still need to tabulate the prize pool, so ignore that for now. We actually have already had donations to it, so it's going to be more than that. And I haven't rolled in last year's, prize forfeitures into it either. So, you got a decent chance at running some category if you put in the work and the hours and the effort. And hopefully, this stream today will, facilitate your ability to make your own homebrew game on the Saturn. Just to go real quick, we have a panel of reviewers. Not pictured here, Shadow Mask. I'm still waiting on Shadow Mask to give me some information, but Shadow Mask has joined us as a reviewer, and we are currently looking at some potential additional reviewers to try to buff up the zine quality. So, if you have an interest in writing for the zine, and you've been like you're a member of the community, people know what's up with you, and you've got some writing experience, go ahead and give me a quick howdy do in a DM or something like that. Anyway, once Ray is actually back, I think he fell asleep or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. What we can do is we can just start playing with some of the basic SRL stuff without him. Pretty decent, pretty decent pull on the background music for today's stream. Anyway, I've already kind of just as a test, I'm using a fresh environment. Oh, does Metafan not get captured anymore? Huh. I guess it doesn't get captured like that. Do I have to manually move it again? I didn't used to have to do that. Oh, it's because, okay, I see. So, the game title now appears, in the little, doohickey up here, so this is input gamepad. My capture setup is specifically set up to capture scenario. So, I'm not going to do that for every new title. I'll just, deal with it like this. So, SRL. Let me go ahead and rewind a little bit. SRL. We can go to SRL's webpage right here, srl.reyme, or .ray.me, rather. This is the live updated documentation for the C++ based SRL Saturn Rings library, which is a method for making games on the Saturn. It wraps around SGL and, by virtue of inheritance, SBL, or, how the structure of SGL actually is. You click the little GitHub link over here, you get yourself into the actual repo, and if you want to actually pull it down, what I normally do is I have Git on my computer, so I'll navigate to a folder, like in this case, SRL 0.9.1, and copy this over. It'll populate this new Saturn Ring lib folder, and then once you're in there, you also want to set up your compilers. So, set up compiler.bat, wait for that to finish. I'm not going to do that live on stream because we've done that a million times at this point. And of course, emulator, drop in Medifend, drop in your firmware in the firmware folder, and then you should be good to go. Now that we're doing that, now that that's all been done, ahead of time. Oh, Ray, you unmuted. Are you around?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Hello.
Howdy doody. I've just been explaining these fine people on stream, and probably more likely more people on YouTube later on. Just basically how to get started in SRL verbally. Again, we've done this tutorial so many times, I don't feel the need to reinstall it every freaking time. But let's see. All right. What we are doing is just as a quick warm up. We're just going to get into the gamepad sample. I've already run it, and here it is. So I've already mapped my gamepad on Mednafen. Again, I'm doing a fresh install today because it's been a minute since I touched SRL, since my secret project has been outside of C. One funny thing I noticed about my gamepad inputs is it doesn't do the 4-finger salute. So normally you want to be able to press start plus A plus B plus C to go back to the what's called the multiplayer menu. However, I can press down A, B, and C, but when I press start, it looks like it locks out the A input. So like they're competing there, which is insane for, you know, a modern device to not be able to just map every button onto the. It's a USB. Like it's not rate limited there. Like it should be fine. Anyway, SRL's working. Was what I mean to say.
Yeah, anyway, if you want that functionality to get back to the multiplayer menu, you have to do that yourself, really. It's not standard by any means.
Isn't the SGL documentation like... well, first up, the Sega standards require it, even though, you know, we don't answer to Sega as of 20-some years ago. But... like, isn't there like a standard SGL function that's like exit or something like that that takes you back to multiplayer menu?
No, you use one of the sys functions to basically jump to specific address in BIOS to do that.
Well, I mean, we could probably look into it some other day because right now we're just playing with samples.
Yeah.
Hi, Tales of Saturn. Anyway, let's go over. Like, I want to know, because I don't have this memorized, what has been recently updated and what hasn't. I mean, I know I've spent a lot of time playing around with animation. I don't know if you've updated the animation sample.
No.
Lots of...
What's been...
What?
There are some new VDP2 samples.
Right.
I think the rotation one and the layers one are the new ones.
Let's play with that. Compile.
Then there's the Cinepak sample.
Okay, let's play with the VDP2 ones, and then we will jump right into the Cinepak ones, because I have something prepared today. And if it works, then what we can do is we can just go through like the pipeline real quick. It's actually very conveniently fast.
It's not the old pipeline anymore.
No. It's actually great now. Like I was surprised how fast it got done. Okay. I don't think there's any inputs to this one. It's just 3 different... Is it 2 layers or 3 layers?
It's three layers, and 2 of them are mixed together.
Okay. So, not counting the font. The font, I think, is like NBG3, usually. That Saturn sprite, is that a sprite or is that a bitmap?
I think it's on the VDP2 as a bitmap.
Okay. Well, I mean, actually, I should just answer these questions by... opening main.cxx.
Yeah, open that one. I'm not responsible for the VDP2 sample, so... because I don't know much about VDP2.
I believe, I mean, who among us does? 7 Shades is usually the one that does this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it with...
You should have opened the folder. You constantly forget to open the folder, not the file. Okay. So if you close the VS Code, go folder up.
Yeah.
One folder up, go.
Oh, okay. Just open the whole project in VS Code. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and open this folder in a VS Code.
I have normal Visual Studio installed, but I don't have the quick VS Code.
You can do that if you open this folder.
Okay, sorry.
Open the layers folder.
Layers and then PowerShell.
No. Just open the layers folder and right click here with Shift.
Shift right click.
Yeah, it should be open.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
You don't have it registered.
Yeah. I think what I have to do is
You probably don't have it registered.
Code dot or something like that. Usually that's. Yeah. See, that works.
Yeah, you probably just don't have it registered in the.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this is the last time this computer will have Windows on it. Like the next time I have a major thing that I want to wipe this thing on, I'm probably just gonna try to clone whatever's on my Steam Deck. And, you know, I'm gonna go. I use Arch, by the way, from then on out. Okay, let's see how you set this up. Do we have word wrap on this thing? Or there we go. So you got space.bin. Actually, let's take a look at. Oh, that's a convenient part about this. Seriously, I'm tired of these pop-ups. Okay, we got a logo. Oh, jeez. Logo, a few binary files. So space.bin, I assume, is that Saturn thing.
Yeah, that would be the. I think that's the clouds or the weird. No,
no, space background. And I get it. And then the logo would be like the Saturn one, and then fog is the fog. That's self-explanatory. Okay, so cube tile. So tile map. So the tile map will take the binary file. The binary file, I assume, comes in from. Actually, how is the binary file produced? Because I forgot. Like in Joe, I can guess, but we don't have Joe tools.
Seven Shades has a tool that he wants to publish, where this is basically the cube cut format. It's the Sega tile map, but just compressed into a bin.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, for now, I think we can look at the structure and then we can go back and kind of figure out what it might actually mean. So the cube tile. There we go. So bitmap to tile. Right. So what a normal person might do is that they'll have a TGA that they got out of GIMP or something like that, or maybe a sprite. Load that in via the bitmap class. There's an interface there that'll take the actual bitmap or the TGA and load it up into the info and stuff. Load it up in the bitmap to tile interface, and then from there you can load the tile map directly. Okay, so NBG2 right now, that's the one that has that logo. Space.bin, which I believe in the back was NBG0. NBG1 got the fog effect, and that's fog 256. Presumably fog RGB, if I swapped it around, the loader would automatically figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I would expect so.
Yeah, let's try that out. So 256 is just like a indexed format, indexed to 8 bytes or 8 bits, sorry, and RGB. Let's see if do I have my shortcut set up for this? No, probably not. I'll go back.
It's Control Shift B.
Control Shift B. Will that clean as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Clean.
You can just click compile because you don't need to clean anything. It will actually recompile.
Run with Mendefen. Okay. I really wish I knew what to do to make Mendefen appear on a certain part of the screen. Okay, so the RGB has definitely had a different effect. At the very least, the color has changed. So if I go back and change it back to 256, like you remember that there's like a slight color difference there. Okay, yeah, there we go. And so you can immediately see it. So I imagine it's two different things. One of them is that, hopefully, I'm imagining that one of them is intentionally a different color. Because otherwise there might be an issue with color indexing. But honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell because I can't interrogate the file type. Anyway, the point is, there is now support for 8-bit tile maps and RGB tiles. So we got NBG0, NBG1, NBG2 is the logo, and that's the Saturn logo there. And then the sort. Okay, so the layers, and this comes from I believe the SRL handbook, is that the layers. I forget how many layers you could set, but the layers define the draw priority. So basically, Painter's algorithm. But I thought there was only like
you
5
can
layers.
if you need to know, just place your cursor over the layers and press F12.
F12. Okay, so layer 0. So there's 8 layers. Okay, so there's 8 layer spots, but I think you can only like actually display like 5 at a time, if I recall correctly from the documentation.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try to play with that now. The logo was NBG2, if I'm correct, right? So if we wanted to have a higher priority, we put it down lower. So we'll put it layer 1, and then just the fact that there's text on the screen tells me that you guys are using NBG3 for that with layer 0 priority.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the normal way of thinking about it.
I know you can change which layer the font will appear on. There's a mechanism, 7 shades implemented for that. So you are not restricted to a single layer.
Uh-oh. Okay, maybe I got it backwards. Maybe it's lower. Lower is worse, or lower is further behind.
You can see it.
Yeah, it's
being
poking
completely
through.
Behind.
Yeah, it's poking through the cosmic microwave background there. So instead of layer 1, let's try layer 7. So, okay, I thought lower was closer, but lower is further. Now the one thing that bothers me about this kind of stuff is that it remind me if it works differently for the RGB layers, but or RBGs, but like you can't get them to interact properly with VDP1 stuff. Like if you want to use the main thing I'm worried about is like a water level. If I want to set a water level, so like VDP2 is providing a water plane, either it's going to show up underneath all the quads or above all the quads, but it's not going to show up in between the quads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that will happen.
Well, that is unfortunate
because it's completely because it's completely separate layer. So
yeah, so they don't interleave. So if you want water, if you want to use VDP2 as like water and not just like skybox or whatever, you basically have to draw it in quads, or you have to figure out some nonsense with
well,
the
what you can draw with quads and use some trickery to fake it being under the layer. So for example, if you draw like half of the mesh using the screen doors transparency, the mesh transparency, then on the screen it would appear that it's under it.
Oh no, I've had this exact conversation with 7 Shades too. Funnily enough, when I was driving out to my grandpa's funeral, I just called up 7 for an hour just to be like, hey, I'm in the middle of Texas. I got to keep myself sane because it's getting dark out. And if you've ever driven through West Texas, you know there's nothing there. And so at some point, I think we discussed this possibility, which was fun. And I didn't understand it in the car, probably because I was a little bit sleep deprived. But now I can visualize it. Like the layer on top, the VDP1 layer, is meshed out. You see the water beneath it, but because it's still being drawn as a projection, you can't tell the difference between if the water was above or beneath it. Conceptually.
You can achieve the same effect as well if you, for example, use half brightness on the quads you want to be underwater, so they appear that basically less light hits them, so they appear to be under the water surface. Or you can also use GoRAD shading, so the lower points of the quads are darker than the top points of the quad, so you get the smooth transition for under the water stuff.
Right. Now the one thing there is for most of the stuff that we just mentioned, you have to have a hard cutoff of the quad boundary of where the water is above and below. Because otherwise it's going to get really like at best you could try to calculate with GoRAD, but otherwise for all the other stuff it wouldn't work. Tales of Saturn
lastly, if you what Tales of Saturn suggests is you could use masking. So basically, you would render the water you know is definitely above the water. You would just render normally as you usually do, but what you think is under the water you would render off screen and then cut it off using like transparent masks and then render it back.
And you have a sample that does something like that.
I think I've made one that renders off screen. I don't know if I made one for SRL yet. I need to make more samples. Seven Shades also needs to make more samples.
Yeah.
Basically, we just need more people to make more samples, but
okay. How about this? Like I know I'm behind. Secret Project kind of has been dragging on and on and on, and I just might kind of like extend that project out a little bit longer as like a side thing. And I need to actually get back to spending real time on Scenario, but it's been so long since we've done a Christmas special. I kind of want to do a Christmas special too. And it only takes me like a couple days to do like a quick little stupid Christmas game. Maybe I can build some samples in service of that Christmas game. If anyone in chat has any ideas for like what a good Christmas special would look like, I'm open to ideas, because like the only idea I have is probably going to be another Secret Project style. Hey, this should be simple, and 3 months later I'm still coding logic.
Well, you can probably make a NetBean game.
Okay. So if you teach me how to actually properly minimize the whatchamacallit,
the binary.
Yeah, the binary. You just said bin. How did I lose that? If you teach me how to properly minimize the binary, because SRL is going to eat up a big chunk of that with SGL in there. I think what we could do is just like a rinky-dink little like flat shaded polygon type game.
Yeah.
Anyway, so going back to the VDP2 sample, what did we learn here? We learned that we can load in TGAs. We can load in a custom binary file that can either be encoded with indexed colors or RGB colors, obviously RGB 15. And the SRL loader will load it up, and you can just apply it to different layers. You can play with the layer priorities, with higher numbers being closer to the screen, so a greater priority to be visible.
Yeah.
And there's 8 layer slots for you to play with that logic.
And if you open documentation and the section on the VDP2 interfaces, you'll notice that there's an interface to load the Sega map files. So you get the map, cell, and PAL files that you can load as well.
We really need to figure out, like, I think someone's already working. Oh, no, you were working on it actually. A replacement for the old tools that ran off of Windows 95 or 3 or something like that.
That we got stuck a bit, and also Purist, I think, made some plugin for Aceprite.
Okay.
That's basically the same.
No, that'd probably actually be preferred. Like if people can make plugins for Blender or Aceprite or GIMP or whatever, that might be better than making up a whole custom tool, whole cloth. Anyway, let's open another sample. What are we feeling? Do we want to go? RGB rotation feels kind of simple. I don't know what color calc, or I think we've already seen bitmap to tile in use in the layers example. Is color calc interesting?
Yeah, you can see how you can use color calculation between multiple layers, so to mix colors between them.
Okay, let's see. Let's try to interpret what this is doing before we run it. There's a triangle, a square, and a circle. Presumably these are like sprites that are being drawn somewhere, unless they're primitives. you can move them around, up and down at least, or left and right. Or left and right will change the opacity of different.
Yeah, using up and down, you can select which one you want to change, and then left and right will change the opacity.
Okay. I saw cursor line as in like line count for the start of the draw. Okay, no, that makes more sense. Subtract. Yeah, I have to build an abstraction layer on top of the input thing so I can, properly parse, like, it has the button just been pressed or. Okay, I guess was pressed and is held is doing that job, but also like, a time counter for like, when you hold up on a menu, it gives you a hot second before you it keeps going, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it looks like we're just playing with opacity of different kind of primitive colors or whatever. Did we lose? What's a shortcut for word wrap so I can just do it automatically? Ah, geez, I had it before, didn't I?
It's grayed out for some reason.
What? No.
Inside the view, there's.
Alt-Z. Yeah. Okay, well, Alt-Z still works. Color calc mode. Second, third. Okay, so switch mode. R button will switch the color calculation mode. Extended color so I'm still not super certain what color calculation is even relevant to. Like, these are all VDP2 things. Triangle, square, and circle, are they different? They're different layers. So basically they're just different bitmaps. They're just labeled triangle, square, and circle, but they're all just basically pictures. I think it's enough for us to get started. Are there Rust dependencies in here? Nah, I didn't think so.
There is no Rust anywhere.
Yeah. We want memory safe Saturn games. Oh, hey Shane, thanks for joining.
I like to write to whatever memory address I want. Thank you very much.
No. So, and that's the thing I never got is like memory safety is a skill issue for the most part. Like I don't understand when people have memory leaks. When if you like properly designate separate like areas of memory, is like just give yourself a hard limit and work within that. Like if I was making Chrome from first principles, I'd say, okay, let's just be reasonable for Chrome. Let's say you only have 64 gigabytes of memory for Chrome, which is like a low number for Chrome, I think, right? And so you just designate that each you have a fixed 63 gigabyte buffer that you can fit more pages in, and if you get to the end of that 63 gigabyte buffer, then just unload or cache one of the previous pages in like reverse visit order until you get enough to make a new one. Like, why would you just keep eating up more RAM? Especially considering that RAM is like 5 ounces of gold per gigabyte now, or something like that. If I think that's an accurate number.
I blame people not knowing how to use linked lists, so...
Crap. I gotta go in and fix the stream integration. What was it called? Geez. Streamlabs. Yeah, there's a Streamlabs integration. I probably haven't touched it in long enough where I just like died out or something. I gotta fix that eventually. Anyway, use the D-pad to select and adjust opacities. Ooh. Okay. Now this is confusing. So the interaction here is quite confusing to me. Is like, how does that work? Like, I know Saturn is famously not good at overlapping like transparencies, but like even with 0% opacity, like the triangle is affected. The circle is also affected if you squint, and it's kind of hard on my screen. It's probably impossible on your screen, unless that's my LCD playing tricks on me.
Yeah, it can be seen on stream. Yeah.
Okay.
You can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait, that was color ratios top, color ratio second. Okay. It's gonna take me a minute to color addition. Yeah, all this is really telling me is like the only viable one is like color ratios top, and only use 2 layers. That's like the only way you can really get it to behave well.
Yeah, there are some rules about and the limitations on how it behaves. They are mentioned in the extensive VDP2 documentation, which I don't understand at all.
But like if you see this, like my first instinct is this is even just talking about here. Let me get rid of the circle, right? Like let's drop the is opacity. Why is it what? What? No, what? Is what? Okay, no. The square is completely transparent. The circle is completely transparent. Their intersection is completely opaque. Can you explain that? Because I can't.
VDP2 manual probably can.
All this is telling me is that it's a fool's errand to try to get any sort of realistic behavior to happen on VDP2. Like, look, everyone's completely what was it, transparent or something like that, right? I mean, I guess there's something of a draw call there, but I mean, all this demo is telling me is just never do this. Just don't do this. Have one transparent layer and everything else has to be completely opaque. Like anytime someone has accomplished a neat transparency effect in Saturn, it's because they spent way too much time getting that one thing working, and it just was not worth it. Like just use meshes for everything. This is bad.
Yeah, I think the safest thing would be just use 2 layers instead of 3.
Look, everything is completely transparent, right? Like we shouldn't see anything, right? Like the alpha is it's as if alpha was 0. Is how I interpret things. But they're overlaps. It's not just that the overlaps are like yes or no, we're going to draw them. It's that the more they overlap, the more they draw. It's nonsense.
It still behaves like if it's doing the addition for the colors together.
Right. Like what I would do is like I know the people on like the Sega retro forums or whatever love talking like about like, hey, what if Sega did XYZ? What Sega should have done is made the Sony PlayStation. Like I'm not even kidding. There's too many interacting parts here that are having very, very specific interactions. If they had one video processor that handled everything, like if they just gave me a frame buffer and told me to do everything in software, it would be, my life would be easier than whatever this is. I mean, like you can't even properly like write into the VDP1 frame buffer if you want to do something like fun, or like go from one direction to another. I think it's like you can't take VDP2, shove it into VDP1 to do some post processing on it. It doesn't work, right?
No, VDP2 does not have a frame buffer.
Right, and okay, yeah, which totally makes sense. I guess no, and it doesn't, but whatever. And then there's fun stuff like low work RAM not being able to DMA to like VRAM or something like that, or the whole system locks up. I feel like I'm going to start the rant from the old parody Mac commercial from like 20 years ago, talking about the freaking editing a video on an iMac. That's the Saturn dev experience. This is why I say like I don't even care about technical prowess anymore. I just want a game to happen. I don't care if everything's flat shaded. It's just like stuff like this will eat up all your time. This demo is I love this demo because it beautifully illustrates, like, and I was about to talk about like the Sega Retro guys and whatever, is like it beautifully demonstrates that like if you were a dev in '94 and you didn't have any of the collective community knowledge that we have now, you'd kill yourself. Like you just straight up like the Sega or the Sonic Extreme dev like give himself pneumonia and end up in the hospital just trying to figure all this crap out because it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, now that I'm probably demonetized, let's move on to the fun demo. Let's go to Cinepak.
I just imagined the 90s Saturn devs sitting at this table with hands crossed and please God help me.
It's like, what? Why does this make sense? I read the manual. It says we can do transparency. Why isn't it transparent? Why can't I see the triangle? It's transparent. I mean, literally, the guy sent himself in the hospital making freaking a Sonic game, and like it wasn't even a very good Sonic game. Like the design was fundamentally flawed. They because it was so hard to prototype on the Saturn, they just got way too deep before they figured out, yeah, we got to change this whole thing. We just got to make Sonic Mania. We should have just made Sonic Mania. It would have been fast. We just poured over the Sonic 3 and Knuckles code and just make everything 32-bit and just give yourself a little bit more color space. Add a few more screen effects. It'd be like the jump from Mega Man X to Mega Man X6 or something like that. Anyway, let's talk about Cinepak. All right.
Another fun thing.
Now, okay, so if this works properly, I think this will be fun in a non-sarcastic sense. So the movie is a sprite. The movie is being rendered on VDP1, which to me is always weird, because like I expect a movie to feel most at home like as its own layer on VDP2.
Well, you can put it on VDP2, but VDP1 was just easier for me to show in the sample.
Okay. As it says here, VDP1 Cinepak.
Yeah, it was just easier to put it on VDP1.
Okay. Okay, so you already have the Sky Blaster Cinepak.
Yeah, that's the intro.
All right. So then, what I'll do, let's play this, and then... Do you have sound on it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's pause this. Did we build it or what? Oh. I like your logo.
Can you even get time how far you are in the movie?
Are you updating Sky Blaster, or is it like done?
I'll be rewriting it completely in C++ later.
Oh boy, that's always the yeah. Like the perennial Saturn dev statement is, I have to rewrite the engine.
Yeah, basically, if I add any single string to it right now into the GeoEngine version, it will no longer compile.
Oh no! For a game that size, yeah, you got to get off of Joe. Joe's too greedy with the memory because it's trying to hold your hand.
Yeah, I'm just out of RAM at that point.
Okay, now let us see if I correctly made my video. Okay, so I just had a quick little whatchamacallit jingle attached to a Cinepak video. So let me drop that in under your Skyblock.
CD.
Yeah, it's a Cinepak test. It's a very simple test, and then what I'll do is I'll actually run through the whole thing. So like how to make it soup to nuts, assuming that you want to do like a 3D animation. S.Cinepak file release.
I tried to make the player to be as easy to use as possible.
Okay. Ha! It's artifact like crap, but it works. All right. So now proof positive that my workflow like works. If you guys want, and there's 11 people on stream. I don't think there's a good video showing how to do this, because Trekkies has a guide from 2019 that is, I guess, now out of date considering the current state of the tools that he's helped make. Okay, that's enough of that. Get the music back on. So I think this section of the video, and maybe I'll even stub it off and turn it into its own like mini tutorial. Who knows? But like, let's go through my workflow for how this whole thing got put together, because now I know it works, and thanks to SRL, now I can get it on the Saturn. Let's see, Blender. Oh boy. Okay, let's enter Blender 5.0. Let's.
That's 5.0. I'm still stuck on the 279.
Yeah, so I mean, what I want to do is I want to try to keep like the current version of Blender in a way that you know, I can maintain usability with modern tools. Random, you came back like probably the best time, because we're gonna go over like an entire Cinepak workflow. Okay, so here is my. Honestly, I need to expand my capture setup to be like 1080. Anyway, let's go into there we go. Jeez, it is okay. Unfortunately, I have to. There we go. Okay, so here's my scene. If you can like figure out what's going on here, I've got a sunlight, a normal like point source light. I don't know why I can't sort them like the way I want. Right, it is cinema. I'm telling you that right now. It is pure cinema. I have a plane that I have mapped an image to. So the way that I do it, that is also kind of compatible with the Nyaa converter, is I believe it was a diffuse BSDF, where I just replaced the color with an image texture over here, right? I just picked up sky.png, and that's what that is. So if I zoom back out, that's the sky texture, something like that. I think that's the original thing, and it's probably not the correct aspect ratio, but who cares? And then we go back into camera space to do this. Now, to make the camera compatible with what Cinepak is expecting, the Cinepak is. Oh, let me go through the cylinder too. The cylinder itself. I just made a principal BSDF. Let me do. Actually, Ray, can you tell me if I wanted a solid color on the Nyaa converter, how would I implement that on here?
Just don't use texture.
Okay, well this has a green material.
All. Yeah, then it should be green in the converter.
All right. Right. Anyway, I'm trying to keep up with Random's comments, but I think that's more about Nyaa. We'll get to Nyaa later. Anyway, so I have a solid colored cylinder, and the cylinder is quad based, right? So you know, just for the sake of just general good practices on Saturn, if we go into edit mode, face mode, we select the faces for the cylinder. What I do is I essentially triangles to quads. And then I forgot if there's like a view. What was the thing? Let me look this up real quick. Let's see. Blender view statistics, faces, edges, verts. Viewport overlays and check statistics. Okay, viewport overlays I believe is up here or over here. Ah, jeez. All right, no, there we go. View. Where's the statistics? Okay, let's just go double check. This is what I get for trusting AI. I should never actually read the AI review. Let's see. Oh wow, this is awful. I hate this. I hate everything about this. What's going on here? Necessary cookies only. Go away. So yeah, okay, under this drop down with the 2 circles, that's the viewport overlay. So where did I miss out on that?
No, I don't think it really matters.
No, not that. Okay, let me just maximize real quick. Oh, it was hidden. It was hidden. So there it is. Got to scroll all the way over here. View statistics. There we go. Okay. So 32 faces. Presumably that's like a reasonable count for what I'm doing here. So let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's like a quarter of it. So 8, 10. Yeah. So these are truly quads. I don't know. I don't know why it's reporting triangles, because it should be in terms of what. So like we can like go back and forth actually. So face, we can like triangle the quad, but like let's just for a second, we can triangulate the faces. Now we've doubled the face count, right? Presumably.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we've doubled the edge count, but we haven't like the faces are oh, they're 64. Sorry. My brain short-circuit. Now they're back into quads. I believe it was Alt-J was here there. Anyway, whenever you're doing 3D stuff for the Saturn, you want to put it in quad basis, because that's what that's how it's drawing everything. All the triangles that you send it, it's just you need to convert it into a quad with a degenerate edge or a degenerate vertex. Anyway, so now that we know everything's in quad basis, that's not important for the video rendering, but it's good practice nonetheless, just in general. Anyway, I have the camera set up over here. So now that we've settled that, let's go over to the camera. And there's a few things we want to get set up here on the output. We have 320 by 240 resolution. We have 30 frames per second. And that's like you can do slower. You don't want to do faster. Like 30 frames per second is like, even with a video as simple as this, you're still kind of pushing the bit rate. The Saturn's CD drive is like spec'd out max at like 280, 290 kilobytes per second. Realistically, you're not going to hit that on an older unit anyway. So the advice on Shiro was to do like 250. I actually peg it down to 200 to allow myself a little bit more room or leeway for decent quality audio. So we have this cylinder, and now what we can do is we just select only the cylinder, and we have our little animation tool down here, right? And what you do is you just kind of like generate keyframes. Also keep in mind on the camera, I've set it to like a 90 frame animation. What we'll do is we'll add a few more keyframes here. We'll double the length. We'll set it to like 180, right? So here's a keyframe at 45, and I have the frame rate at 30 frames per second, so 90 frames is like 3 seconds or so, right? So 45 is like halfway, that's like a second and a half. So now we're at 90. So at 120, I'm going to...
That should be 3 seconds at 90, because you have 30 frames a second, so
yeah,
3 seconds.
So 90, I'm just going to move this over here, like all the way back down to here. And then I'm going to press K. No, not K. No. That's, why insert? Oh, sorry, in object mode. I have to be in object mode. Let me go back to object mode. Object mode, K. And then this will insert a keyframe at the frame that I'm currently at. And right now I'm just keeping track of location, rotation, scale. If you're doing something more complicated, probably you want to save like everything available or something else, but for now, LRS. Okay, and now I'm going to do another keyframe at 150, trying to get it back to the original position. What was it? That's minus 135 is what I'm going for. And then we'll get back over to here. 3.5, right? And just to double check, when I'm at keyframe 45, it was 4 and minus 1.5, but it started at 0. Okay, So maybe I want this to be 4. Alright, and you just insert a new keyframe at the keyframe you were at before, and it'll just overwrite it. And then at 180, let's just get this back down to the starting position. Okay, so let's see what that animation looks like. Oh, okay.
I think it's fine.
No, because like, first off, the rotation state, I don't really like the way it's doing that.
Yeah, but
so for
Cinepak Sample, it's fine.
No, I'm gonna get this right. So I'm gonna get this way back over here. Alright, and minus 135. We'll do it there. And then this should be, because the way we're rotating it, it's not 0, it's 180. Or sorry, minus 180. Okay, so let's try that. Yeah. What? Oh, it was on the y-axis.
That's cool.
You know what? No, you're right. It is cool. I'll leave it like that. What I will do, though, is I want to move this guy way further back. Like, all the way out. There. Let's do minus 9. Okay. Flip. Okay. There. I'm happy with that. So let me save. And what I'll do is I'll go to render animation. And it's competing with OBS to use my graphics card to make this very complicated, high art. There. And I believe one of my settings here, because by default it sets it somewhere else. Let me check. Maybe it's under render. Oh geez. No, it was one of the camera settings, I believe, was where the thing renders out to. So maybe it was under output. So output. Oh, okay. No. This part is important too. Okay. I totally forgot to cover this. Remember, under the camera settings. Now, we already talked about 320 by 240 at 30 frames. We also want to set the frame range as to the actual range that you're planning on using. So for me, it was from 0 to 90, now it's 0 to 180. So I set it to 180. The output folder is in this folder right here, which is actually, if I have it available off screen. No, not you. Here we go. Assets. Assets, video, Cinepak. Was that it? No. It was 3D, animation, out. It's this one. This is the one that we just rendered. So if we actually look at this. There, yeah. And then down, and the flippy flip. There we go. And it's a nice loop too. Okay. So that's where it is now. Okay. We're done with Blender, but again, the encoding is important here. You want it in QuickTime, and you want the video codec to also be QuickTime animation. I set the keyframe interval to like 45. Realistically, maybe I should put that down to 15 and re-render, because now that's the common denominator between the things that are spaced 30 apart and 45 apart. Also, this is probably me being superstitious more than anything, but I want the audio to be compatible. So I set the sample rate. That's not even the correct sample rate. The sample rate should be. Oh geez, I had the story open too. Let me grab the story, and I will, because I was going off of the Shiro article describing how to do this earlier. All right. And the audio sample rate. What did they set it to? Oh, not you. There. 44.1. But realistically, we should probably sample it down to 22.05. Just to keep everything consistent. Even though I don't have any audio built into Blender. And if you could figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, there's whole movie editing. I don't know how it's used.
Yeah. But I mean, if that is an option for you, keep it mono 2205. I don't know if I don't know how to use this bitrate number effectively. Kilobits per second. Oh, no. Okay. And for me, I'll keep it maybe at like 45 or 50 or something like that. It's a very useful article. And now we have a video version of it. Or at least we will when I upload this. Okay, so let's re-render this animation. Right?
It's a bit all over the place version, but...
Well, I mean, you know, this is like, you want to double check these settings when you do the final render. Okay. Anyway, so there's that. Our output has been updated, so if you see, it is currently 156 local. So this thing was written at 156 local. So that's our... And note that our file size is like 4 megabytes, which is like more memory than the Saturn has available. And no, don't try to buy more memory because you can't even afford megabytes of memory in this economy. All right. Anyway, let's get out of Blender for a second now. I think we're done with Blender. Let's go over to the other tools we're gonna have to use. So the next tool that we're gonna use, and again, I'll post the Shiro article like here it is in chat. But I will also post a Shiro article in the description of this video, and if we stub this off into its own tutorial, I'll do it there too. What we'll do is we'll go over to my game day folder. I already have Virtual Dub 2. Now this is very important. Don't use the 64-bit version. Use the 32-bit version, virtualdub.exe. And the reason why you want to do that is because Virtual Dub 2 32-bit has the Cinepak codec, but that was not included in the 64-bit version. I don't know why. Anyway, we have our updated video from my 3D assets folder, 4 megabytes. What we'll do is, just for sanity, again, I've already rendered the video correctly, but I will, for my own sanity, you know, and safety, go through and add in the recommended resize filter, just in case, you know? And also say, you know, precise bilinear. Actually, you know, I'll do this, whatever. Because, I mean, it doesn't really... It's not going to affect the bitrate. 320 by 240. As you recall, that's the same aspect ratio that I rendered the original Blender file at. Do not letterbox or croc. Do not adjust. Okay. Okay. And then also, for audio, source audio from another file. And I have another file that I've prepared. Some nice royalty-free OGG music, right? Darkfallout.ogg, and you'll hear it again in a second. Now, I will do full processing mode. And in full processing mode, now I can properly convert the audio quality into exactly what we need, which is 2205, 16-bit precision. Now again, what really matters here is the bit rate. So the bandwidth required, 87 kilobytes per second. Mono, 44 now, right? And so another option we can do. Now, for spoken audio, I forget, it's like, for music, sometimes you can get away with a different sample rate than spoken audio. I think a lot of the times, especially for Saturn era games, you can get away with a lower sampling rate but a higher precision, and it'll come off with decent audio quality. For music, I think you kind of want to go the other way around. You want to go like 44-100 lower precision. The point is, we're still maintaining our budget here of like 44 kilobytes per second, basically roughly 50. For now, I'm just going to stick with what the Shiro article recommends, 2205 and 16-bit. All right. And then we are going to save the video. Oh, sorry. Okay. We're not ready to save the video yet because we have to set the video compression algorithm. Now again, this is the reason why we use the 32-bit version, is because the Cinepak codec by radius is right here. Use the target kill. Again, Article recommends 200. I recommend, or 250. I recommend 200. I will also force keyframes every 15 because I know how I made my animation, and if they force it every 15 frames, it'll hit the right keyframes, presumably. I'll press OK on that. And now I think we can save the audio. Alright, well, if Trekkie says it's not necessary, he's almost certainly right. Save it as a QuickTime movie. And I'm going to overwrite my old test file. So, save that. Yes. And then we have... Oh, jeez. We just had the report. But we lost it. Anyway, we're done with Virtual Dub 2 now, so I'll go ahead and minimize that. If we go into Assets, Video, Cinepak, where I saved it, we have the new test.move that I just rendered at 2 p.m. local. So this is in Cinepak format. Now we need to get it into Saturn-friendly film format. So Trekkies has been good enough to make the update to Saturn Film Tools, and this was like a couple of years ago, but I just now got around to using it. So we have the video source file. Ah, jeez, I have to go navigate to it again. Freaking local game dev assets video Cinepak test.move. Okay, chroma key is for like, you know, like green screen stuff. I'm not gonna touch that. Let's create the film file. So we see I targeted 200. I actually got a lot less because it's a very simple video. 136. It peaks at 160, and then we have like 44, 43 audio bitrate on top of that. So we stayed well within budget. So it should behave very well on a Saturn unless you're doing some weird other side loading stuff, which you probably shouldn't be if you're playing video. Anyway, so the where's the assets video Cinepak test.cpk? Okay, so this is the newly rendered. Oh wow, it's already 1 meg. Cinepak file, and these videos get pretty big pretty quick. So what ends up happening is they get shoved into a ring buffer when you actually use it. Anyway, let's drop this in. So we've overridden it with the video that we just rendered in Blender, right? And then converted with VirtuaDub to Cinepak, and then use Saturn Film Tool to export to a Saturn-compatible film format, still maintaining the .cpk file. Well, actually, we went from .move to .cpk file extension. Anyway, now we can go in and recompile and see if the modified video will play with complete audio intact. All right. Run with Mendovan. And so, like, this is something that you might have like as like one of your, you know, the logo animations that come up at the beginning of a lot of these games. It's like here's 5 seconds of our studio animation that we spent, you know, thousands of dollars in man hours making that you just want to skip through by pressing start. That's what this kind of animation is for. But if you do have like actual animation skills, like if you got like posable models and you've got like some voice acting to go along with it, you could make some decent okay looking what am I thinking of? FMVs, you know? Like there's no reason why a skilled Blender animator in today's, you know, with today's tool set wouldn't be able to just outpace the Final Fantasy VII FMVs. Now the only issue here is that I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like rote following tutorials, and now you're gonna have to rote follow me if you want to use this video to do that. So you notice all the artifacting going on here. Like the sky doesn't look super great, but the message gets across. I'm sure there's ways to like if I made the target bit rate a little bit higher or something, I'm sure there have been ways to like clean it up. Because as you recall, the original file, the .move, before it got turned into a Saturn format, had a lot less artifacting going on it. Like, it was a lot cleaner. Well, yeah, because it's a solid background, and it's just like one simple, very simply shaded object moving through the screen at a reasonable rate. And so the deltas between frames... Actually, I don't know much about the Cinepak codec, but if it's based off of frame deltas, the deltas of the frames are very small relative to the overall size. And yeah, whatever other compression algorithm, like if it's based off of some sort of Fourier transform or something like that, there's very little high frequency noise changes to the animation there. Now, if I wanted to Cinepak together like a confetti explosion with some high quality CD audio, it might stress out the Saturn. Well, thing is, I think whatever loss I had was in the Saturn to move adapter thing, which it doesn't really have any settings to play with. Because again, the original test.move looks clean, unless like there's some decisions made there that would translate better under the .film or the .cpk adapter. You do see a little...
I think the crunch...
What?
I think the crunchiness has its charm.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're on the Saturn, you know what you're getting into. Like, again, every time I think that, like, oh, this is not working, like what player would accept this? I go back and I look at some of the Saturn launch titles. I go back and look at the severe pop-in on Sega Rally and Daytona, and then see what some of the crap that they got away with some of the FMV games. And I was like, you know what? No, like, I'm at least as good as a game developer as these guys. If I had a full-time job and I was working in these studios, I'd be doing at least as good of a job as them. Okay, maybe Windows is doing some scaling cleanup there. So if you want to spend some time, you can go into Virtual Dub itself and start playing with different things, and maybe we could do one run, right? So let me go back to the compression, right? Where was it? Video compression, and let's try targeted data rate 250. Don't force keyframes, because apparently that doesn't really matter. Nearest neighbor in VDub and set the bitrate to default. Turning off both. Okay. Actually, pixel format. Can I do they have RGB 15 in here? Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Actually, I forgot. Where did we have the scaling thing? I do remember somewhere. Where was it? Oh, filters. Resize. Nearest neighbor. Okay, let's do the nearest neighbor. Alright. Save video. Let's do test 2. Let's be able to do a side-by-side. So this is with, like, you know, I'm not going to mess with the audio, because I just want to see, like, the video get altered. And I'm pretty sure we blew the budget there, if I saw that correctly. Let's go back over to the Saturn Film Tools. I should have closed it. And then we'll open up... Jeez, there we go. Dev... Assets... Video... Cinepak... Test2.move. The bitrate is lower! What? Shadow, you're gonna have to explain this to me. How does this make sense? The bitrate went down. I took off the limiters and it went down. What?
It's movie magic.
Is yeah, .move magic. Okay, anyway, let's drop this into the data and see what happens. Let's do test 2. The one PSU song that isn't immediately, like, obnoxious. Alright. Unfortunately, I gotta pause it. Oh boy, I gotta get myself a little drinky drink of water. It's still artifacty. Honestly, I'd have to go back in the video feed, like, I'd have to rewind the stream and just see if it's, like, significantly different, but, I mean, there's only so much you can do on the Saturn anyway, right? Like, this is about as good as it gets. I know I've seen cleaner work from Trekkies, but Trekkies does some weird wizardry there that I'm not sure if I'm prepared to try to recreate on stream in, like, less than 10 minutes. Anyway, honestly, I'm not sure if playing inside a virtual dub is appreciably changing what's going on here, but, like, what I can do is, next time he's available, I'll track him down and maybe we can do a little follow-up on another future stream. But if you're just trying to get, like, some basic video onto the Saturn, you should be able to do that both with the Shiro article, which is linked in chat, and the description if you're on YouTube, and also now with, you know, just following along with his video for the past half hour, however long it's been. Anyway, Mendefend does scale, but I don't know if it's by default integer scaling or something else. Honestly, it probably looks fine on a CRT. If anything, on a CRT, it like the splotchiness kind of averages out or something. I don't know. Anyway, Ray, if I even fall asleep.
Yes.
Let's try to go over some of the new features from Nyaa. If you
can also look at the code of the player first.
The player. Oh, sorry.
How the player is used.
We haven't even examined the code. Like, we've been having so much fun just playing videos. Okay. Size. Where do you define your size? Oh, you get the resolution of the player, but the player is... Okay, so you basically have a default... Just press Alt-C to word wrap this guy. Okay, so you have like a default player set up somewhere. Right.
Well, first function on the line 12 is frame decoder.
Yeah.
So whenever the player decodes a frame from the movie, it will call that function. You can see on line 41.
Yeah. So you increment player on frame by frame decoded. The plus equals is a little bit strange to me, but we'll walk through it. We will load the movie, and I assume loading the movie will also set the size, so you don't have to manually set that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's your resolution. Just get resolution. That's probably set by the file that we've loaded in. We will allocate the texture to the movie sprite. So we're playing on VDP1, so the video itself is a sprite. Oh, too many tooltips. Width, height, RGB 15, and what's this fifth argument? Oh, the one time I want a tooltip, it doesn't pop up. Palette index. But if it's not indexed though, because it's RGB 15, so then it's it's not using that 0.
You can put whatever. Yeah. You can put whatever in there.
Yeah, but wait. So in theory, now this is probably a stupid idea, but could you do an indexed video? Like, does that even make sense? Indexed compressed video, color indexed?
I think. I don't know if you can do that, but if you wanted, you probably could.
I don't think anyone's actually.
I don't know. You would have to ask Trekkies if that's possible.
Yeah, next time I see him online, I'll bug him with a couple questions about that. Size again. We're getting size again. Why are we getting size again?
I just decided that I want to write that line again, but it does not matter. The get resolution is just fetching a variable that's already stored, so it's not slowing down.
Is 15-bit? Yes. I mean, the answer is yes. We already know it's yes, but if these two are equal, but it is. Length is size times width. Okay, so this is like your pixel buffer for your frame, essentially. Is like the number of pixels is your length. Get data.
This for loop will just reset the sprite to be black color, because when you allocate it, it's whatever there was before that.
Now here's
So
the thing.
it would be just garbage.
If you're playing video that is not chroma keyed, this is not, strictly speaking, necessary. I mean, would you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it was chroma keyed...
No, you really need to do this every time, because when you call the function try allocate, it will not clear the area in the VDP1 RAM. So whatever garbage was there before will stay there.
Yeah, but if you're overriding it with the new video frame anyway, then does it matter?
It does, because when you call play, you wait at least one frame before you get a decoded frame.
Oh, okay. So
and
before
in that one frame, you will get garbage. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the
exactly.
This is initialization then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then we start playing the movie. And again, we're still in the main function, but we haven't started the main loop yet. So we haven't started ReyeMe and I. So play is like a status, like either you're playing or you're not, but you're not playing each frame. You're just playing and drawing the sprite.
You can also play, pause, resume. There are multiple functions that you can use.
Get time, so it gets you time in seconds, which is nice. Is that a float that it returns?
It returns fixed point.
Okay, but fixed point prints with %f. Okay, I forgot about that. Movie sprite is drawn just like any other sprite, and you refresh the screen. So let's go back and look at a couple of these functions. Playback completed. It'll loop the movie. So if playback is completed, do we actually call that function?
Yeah, it's called using the plus and equal sign.
Oh, okay. So these are functional allocations. So on completed, it'll call this function.
Yeah, if you want to see what they really are, go to the documentation of the SRL. Let me find it exactly where it is, so I can navigate you.
Oh, I mean, we have the website open over here somewhere, right? Eeny, meeny, miny, you? No. There we go. And we can just search for Cinepak Layers.
Search for event.
There we go. And so you have these... This is functional programming. I don't get to see this too much, but I like it. So
and you see public attributes.
What?
Public attributes, they are under these functions. Go down.
So on completed, this is a pointer to... Okay, it's an event, but I kind of you kind of think of it as like a pointer to a function. You can assign the function to that.
You can assign multiple functions to that.
So that plus equals is adding it to a queue. So it'll resolve all of the functions that you assign to it in that event container. So every time you plus equals a new function to it, that becomes another thing that it triggers.
And if you want to remove functions, you use minus equals with the function pointer.
Oh, and it knows how to do that with the event queue. Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, if you click on the event type, you will see the documentation for the event type.
All right, and that makes functional program a little bit easier then. Yeah, it's like adding a function to stack and then removing it if it exists. So on frame, what are we doing every on frame? On frame, let's go back. Frame decoded. So frame decoded function. What that'll do is get the resolution, set the length, and then copy the frame into... Okay, so once the frame is decoded on the player side, it still needs to be copied into the sprite to play. But it doesn't necessarily need to go to that VDP1 texture. You could set this to a VDP2 Layers bitmap, presumably. Okay.
Or whatever you want.
Yeah. Now, thinking out loud, when I'm seeing that event thing going on here, what I'm saying is, on complete, you can make it so that on completion, you literally just trigger a new gameplay function.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and I'm thinking like, what was it, like Dragon Quest? Not Dragon Quest, sorry. What's the one where like every decision you make kills the guy and it's like a animated movie?
I think this is Dragon Quest.
No, Dragon Quest is a JRPG. Geez, now we gotta Google it. Dragon FMV game animation. Dragon's Lair. There we go. Dragon's Lair. So in Dragon's Lair, I mean, during the loop, while the player is playing, you'd still listen for certain inputs. But at the termination... Well, thanks, Pona. Now, you know... I didn't know you were watching, but thanks for watching. But, you know, I figured out at the same time you texted that chat. So during the loop, you'd end up being able to parse for inputs. But at the end of the loop, you just, like, on completion, you set a flag that terminates the loop, and that could just be like a simple one-line function, all right? And so now you're no longer listening for inputs. And then also, on completion, you could trigger, bad end, whatever the current pointer is at. This Dragon Quest game, after it's fully animated, might be like not even 1,000 lines of code with SRL if you did it that way.
Yeah, but what you need to really be careful about with FMV games is where the files are on the disk, so it's a hurdle you have to figure out.
I remember we tried to do during the last build of Scenario, like when we were still trying to figure out, it was the audio streaming issue. It was like, okay, how can we get some voiced audio to stream properly? And I think that's still like an open question of how we want to handle audio. That's kind of dependent on SRL framework stuff. But like, if you jump too many sectors on the disk, or if it's in an inconvenient place, like for someone in the inner ring and then you're jumping to the outer ring, it's going to take a minute to do that adjustment. And if you're counting on that load time being reasonable, you might end up, locking something up or screwing something up if you don't account for it. Like we wanted, for a while, some streaming audio stuff, and it just did not work out. That yet. I mean, we're still, I still have to look at it. I just haven't put in the time to do that. Anyway, that's how you do Cinepak Playback on SRL, and it looks like it's compact enough for it doesn't really get in the way of anything. Like the player, I assume the player contains its own ring buffer, so that's like if you don't want to use it anymore, you can.
Yeah, you can also just call unload the movie, or you can destroy the player object that will also unload the movie.
Right.
And when you are loading the movie, you can also specify how big the ring buffer and other stuff can be. There's a second parameter that you can use to specify all of that stuff.
So I forget the whole stack and heap situation with SRL, but like when you just declare the player like this, it's in high work RAM, right?
Yeah, it's on the stack basically.
Okay. Now, if I wanted to move this to low work RAM, which I believe is essentially how we conceptualize the heap for Saturn, would it still operate? Like, would it break?
It should still work.
Okay,
but you no longer can use the STU-DMA copy in the decoded event. You need to do something else.
That was going to be my follow-up question, because you are using a DMA, and from what I recall, the DMA going from low work to elsewhere just does not work. So basically, if you want FMVs, you got to dedicate some space in high work RAM to do so. Now, how much space does the player take by default?
I don't know, but you can check it out by using the memory debugger function. So using the print, you can print out how much memory you should have and how much memory you have currently free.
Okay, so remind me, one is lines from the top, right? So
one is X coordinate, and the second one is Y coordinate.
Oh, so this is lines from the bottom. So wait, where's the... Oh.
So if you use 1, then it would be upper left corner.
Gotcha. Okay. And then let's say video size. is it gonna be an integer?
Let's call it total memory and then free memory.
All right. Free memory, and this is gonna be in or it's gonna be in bytes.
Yeah, bytes.
Well, I can divide it by 1024. Actually, well, I'm not gonna bother. Stop tool tipping me, jeez. And then this is available.
No. That's total available memory.
Okay. Now, what are the functions?
For the free memory, what you want to use is SRL, memory, high work RAM, and get size.
Okay, so SRL : memory, high work RAM, dot get size, or
column.
I always forget the last one.
It's column get size, and it's
not camel case.
Uppercase.
Naughty.
And for that, that's available memory. My mistake. But for the free memory, that's get free space.
All right. Now let's do a quick little. Okay, you know what? I lied. I just wanted some back of the envelope numbers, so we'll just round up. I want to know. In kilobytes. Just so I have because I don't want to do mental math right now. I'll release. Oh, I forgot it. To press this a little bit. I want to replace PSO. I have it on my Steam Deck. I should just log back in on Silverhand. Oh, no. Wait. Ray, why didn't you stop me? You should have known that I was printing over myself. Very embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's drag this way.
I think the ink buffer should be 200k by default.
It's didn't print anything. Did I use the wrong?
Have you probably used the wrong?
Okay, is it I or D or B? I forget what it was.
D.
E. Why was I thinking I? Is I a thing? I thought I was also integer.
I don't know what I is.
So that free memory is a misnomer. It's not. I labeled that wrong. That's the consumed memory. That's how much is being taken up by the video buffer, right?
No, that's how much you have left.
Okay, so available memory is incorrect, and it's actually used memory.
No, the available memory is all the memory you have for malloc available.
Okay, well, I'm confused now.
The malloc,
yeah,
the thing you use using the new LV and such,
yeah,
cannot use all of the RAM, right?
Oh, okay. So I have
available memory shows you.
You're right.
Yeah.
I have 620 total kilobytes of memory. I have 461 kilobytes remaining. So the video itself is less than 200. And to prevent myself doing bad mental math, so the video's taking like 160 kilobytes. Now, if I recall correctly, that is roughly the size of 1 second of video. So the ring buffer, is it dynamically allocated to roughly 1 second of video?
I forgot already. It's predefined in the default as 200 times 1024, but it can be less sometimes.
Okay.
Depends whether it's a 15-bit or 24-bit video.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, that's the least useful now. You can use that to do some budgeting. What happened to the other
also,
380?
I'm looking.
What?
Also, I'm looking at the code, and actually, I put the ring buffer at the LVRAM and the work buffer at the work RAM. So, what you've seen in work RAM is just the work buffer. The ring buffer itself lives in the LVRAM.
Okay, so it's actually eating up a lot of real estate then, probably. So then the high work RAM, it's holding basically a second of data, like 1 second of video data. So then, how big is it?
I think the work RAM should hold just the single frame, like the data of the image.
Really?
Decoded RGB image.
That sounds incorrect. Let me. Okay, so it's RGB 15. That's 2 bytes per pixel times 320 times 224 divided by 1024. Each frame should be So it's 140 plus. It's 140 plus. I'm guessing the rest is sound.
Yeah.
All right. So it's literally 1 frame of. Oh boy, that is. But no, because it's uncompressed. Yeah. So the bit rate is assuming a compressed playback and like live decode, but like realistically, every time you uncompress the frame, it is like 1 frame uncompressed is the size of 1 second of a video practically. Then, the way we do it. Well, I learned something today.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's getting late for you. We did want to talk about doing some Nyaa stuff. I don't know if we have time to do some now. If you wanted to take a look at whatever new stuff is in there.
We can.
Okay. Okay, so how do we start? Do we want to go look at the sample, or do we want to start playing around in the converter?
The sample has not changed, so we can play with the converter.
Okay. Now,
I don't know if you have the GitHub page of the converter booked up.
Now, luckily for you, I came marginally prepared. So, Nyaa model converter 138 I have here, but this is just a whatchamacallit? CLI.
Executable.
Yeah. So, what we can do... So, first off, do I need to make some new folders in here? Like in
Nope.
out? No? Okay.
No, not need.
Okay.
Not needed.
All right. So what I do need is an object file, right? Now, I forget. Like with we have keyframes here, right? Do we have keyframes here? I don't see the keyframes anymore. Oh, they're in there somewhere.
You need to select the object.
Oh, that's why. Yeah. Okay. Now we could try just using this as the animated thing, right? So what we can do, save this, is export the object, right? And we're gonna do a few things to change, right? UV coordinates normal. Just guide me through it real quick. First off, the forward axis, that is minus. Oh, is this saved? Up axis? No. X. Down is Y. Up is minus Y. Up should be minus Y. Z, forward. There we go. Okay. We should, Oh, wait. I had this. Let's set that down to 1. Just well, no, we can save it at 10 and we can just back up. Do these check marks on the geometry look correct to you? UV, normal, colors, modifiers, and transforms?
Yeah, that all looks fine.
No grouping, materials, path mode copy. All right, and then we're going to call this cylinder.
You probably want to put it into ins folder instead of out folder.
Well, this is my animation out, but yeah, you got a point there. Let me make a in. Cylin.obj.
You probably also want there's an animation check. I don't know how this version of Blender will export animation with the OBJs, but the old one would create multiple files, so...
180. Alright. Export.
Yeah.
So if we go, not data, let's go over to assets, 3D, animation in. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, this is fine.
No, I thought it only did keyframes before, and it's doing every interpolated frame, which I guess makes my life a little bit easier, but is also kind of hilarious how much data that is.
What I usually did, at least the older version does this too. I just removed the frames I don't want.
Okay, let's do that again, but I do want to do a test of I also want to include some textures in here. Let's go to Open Game Art, and we'll pick out a nice box texture or something like that. Open Game Art. What kind of texture should we put? Like a metal thing or texture? Let's just see what's available.
Find wood.
Wood? Okay, we'll do. Let's see if there's a nice little woody thing there. Oh, what's the attribution? If you feel so inclined, credit is never required. Okay, I'm stealing. 128 is huge, though. I'll probably want to resize that. And we have to make this into a TGA, right?
No, you don't really need to. You can use PNGs or BMPs.
All right. What I will do is I will let me copy that. I think I want to shrink it down a little bit to make it reasonable.
Yeah, you need to shrink it down.
Okay, let's do. I mean, 32 is ideal, but then can we do 64? Yeah, there's just not a clean way of doing this, is there? I'm just gonna have to do it like 24. There we go. And then what's a nice even number? Let's do. We'll resize to how many pixels? 2432. That's probably fine. I mean, that looks like wood, maybe. I don't like what it did there, so I'll just crop. There we go. That's wood-like in quality. All right, let's. So you're saying a PNG is just fine?
Yeah, PNG is just fine.
Let me put that in the texture folder. Wood.png. Alright. And now let us go over to this material here and modify the base color to be an image. Extend, flat, linear, single image, but I want the mapping to be... I'm not a fan of what the song is right now. Tube? sphere. Flat.
I think because you don't have the UV map generated, so
yeah. I gotta. Where do we do that? Because that's important. Forget.
no, I don't know in this Blender. I think it's you need to change the one of the views into UV map views.
UV editing. Okay.
If Xenos was here, he would know.
No. I think I can remember it. Now, what I need to do is I want them all to overlap.
Can you reset the UV map?
What I can do is snap. String. I forget what the unwrap faces. Unwrap. Smart UV projection. Follow occupied.
And click reset.
What?
Click reset.
Reset. Oh, okay. That looks right, actually. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't render the way I want to see it. So, there we go. So now they're all kind of like repetitions of each other, which is what I was going for. Because all the UVs are the same rectangle over the entire texture. So that's what I wanted. All right. All right. Let's go back to layout mode. So now it's UV mapped. The animations are already there. So let's go back again and export the object.
I don't know if you have to delete the old ones first.
I believe it'll overwrite. So let's double check. See, texture. You go up to the output. Oh, sorry, no, the input. And so 242, that's right now. So they just got overwritten. And it
Perfect.
also copied in wood.png. So there we go.
Perfect.
All right. Now let's copy this and over. And we'll try to run model converter. So let's open up PowerShell, right? So first things first.
PowerShell or command line depends on what you like to use more.
I prefer PowerShell when it works, but oftentimes there are issues with it. So the first thing we do is the input.
Yeah, we define input, so we use the -y.
Cylind, okay. So where's -y?
Just type -y, then in the path you have. I don't see the whole path on the stream, so.
Oh, sorry.
It's the normal y. I don't know how it's.
Okay, so model converter -y path. Now I have Cylind, but it's like, are there flags there?
So you just need to change the y. You have the v in Czech. We call it strong y. You need to use the other one.
What's strong? Capital?
No. Just e, the letter.
The letter E. Maybe you just type what you're talking about.
Open documentation on, so you can also follow what it does.
All right. You know what? That's always a good idea. Reading documentation is hard, but I think I know how to read. All right. Input I. Okay, no, it's just I. I is the input.
Yeah. Yeah, we call this soft I in Czech. So.
Okay, I wasn't quite following. Okay, so we do lowercase I.
Yeah.
But then if I want to do every file in the folder, how do I flag that?
Go to the end of your path. Type star.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. .obj.
Then exactly.
Okay, and then the output is going to be .out. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what else do you want to do with this?
You also need to specify the file name in the out. So you use slash cylind.nyaa.
Yeah. All right.
And now, if you scroll completely down, there's a section on the Nyaa format attributes. These are special attributes you can use with Nyaa format.
Okay, -T smooth. Okay, I think the animation thing that you did is smooth shaded. So let's keep that, right?
Exactly.
-T smooth. I see it. I see it. Oh, capital. Is there anything else we want to look at? You said there's some new stuff in here.
The new stuff is if you scroll down, there's the new type of the mesh. Then you can export. You can export unlit meshes now.
Oh, so that's the not shaded, no light.
Yeah, no light meshes. This also works as a flag on a face, so you can have a smooth mesh, but some faces be unlit. That's useful when you do like torches with a flame animation on top of them or something like that. That's using the N attribute.
So the materials, I didn't add any of these flags, but let's just go over them real quick. So we have the mesh, so like literally like checkerboard pattern for semi-transparency. Double-sided versus single-sided. So I didn't do double-sided, so it is going to be back-face called. So you're not going to be able to see the interior. If we have time, maybe later we can fix that. Half transparent, that's different from mesh. That's actually trying to draw 50% like color additive transparency. Horse face be flat shaded. So then you can make certain faces be flat shaded, and that's probably good for like a computer screen or something. Force no light.
if you have the smooth shaded mesh and you want some face to be lit but not have the Gurat shading, then you can use this flag to force it to be there.
Half bright, so literally what it sounds like. Mesh faces renders an outline. Wireframe, W, and then sort by the center of the quad. So you can do per material sort flags, which is actually super useful. Like if you start getting into the weeds of how to get these animations to work right, and you're like banging your head against the desk, so like, why does his neck appear in front of his clavicle? Why does his neck look like it's going through his face? You need those kinds of flags. So it's sort same as the center flag. Sort L is not super useful, but sort minus and plus, I absolutely will use all of those when I'm starting to do the fine details on some of the character meshes. Like it's not going to be optional. Anyway, I don't know that we're going to get to like actually demoing any of this stuff today, but you're going to have to take my word for it that it's useful, and Reyes put in very good work in something that anyone who's doing a 3D game will absolutely need. Anyway, back to the command. So we just have that cylinder animation that we made earlier. Model converter.
If you also want, you can also add -S and specify a scale in a floating point number. Right. So you can do -S 0.5 or something like that.
So we have the scale set to 10. So let's just do 0.5 just to set it back down to slightly smaller, because those quads are going to be somewhat large. I don't know, but this is a valid command, right? So if we press enter, uh-oh,
did it?
No, it's sorry. This is
PowerShell does not like.
This is PowerShell being a dick. There we go. So it went through all 180 objects. And it exported everything, and it made a kilobyte texture. And so let's see what the output actually looks like. How big is this guy? 430 kilobytes. That's what 180 frames of flat shaded, well, not flat shaded, but like 180 frames of animation is not nothing.
Yeah, keep in mind that this format was not really made for animation.
Yeah.
So it's storing duplicate vertices and duplicate faces and like that.
So here's actually what I want to propose, Ray. I think the Saturn can handle skeletal animation. I think that's possible if we find a way for us to make something in Blender that looks like a skeleton, even if it's like a bunch of wires or something like that. If we can output a wireframe into the OBJ and just have that process in the Saturn, I think we can do skeletal animations on the Saturn. I think it's possible.
Yeah, I was trying to make skeletal animation to work, but I do not understand how to write Quartillion math.
You know what? Let's let that be some stream down in the future somewhere. I'll figure that out. I feel like I can get a handle on quaternions, like, you know, the PhD haver that I am. I feel like I should be able to do that. So, you know, humble brag. Smooth teapot.
Yeah, not like me, who does not have even any title.
Yeah, but you're better at programming than me, so it kind of like washes out in the end. Okay, we got Bud.Nyaa, now we got Cylin.Nyaa. Yeah, no. As long as we can get the math to work right, the problem is the pipeline, right? The workflow. Like, we don't have a good way of exporting. Like normally, if you're in like a real game engine like Godot or Unreal or Unity or something like that, you will have like the FBX or something like that file format, and that should come with it a skeletal, like a predefined, you know, well-documented skeletal animation thing. What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to reinvent the wheel just to get it to fit on the Saturn, because like none of us have time to decompress FBX and figure out a tool to get that to work.
I'll probably try FBX first.
No,
because it's the FBX. Most useful one.
It's useful, but it is a pain to get working. Like or to
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What else can we do?
I'm not 100% against reinventing the wheel from first principles, just because we're probably going to do a lot of optimization for the Saturn side just to get it to work. Not least of all is the fact that we need to do math in integers and fixed, and FBX is going to give us floats.
Yeah, Ponat, if you have good resources for the skeleton animation without the quaternions, can you send it in the chat somewhere?
Yeah. Throw math at me, and
I
will read it. That will be my recreational reading after I'm done platinum hunting on Final Fantasy VII Intermission animation. You think I'm kidding? I'm actually very close. I just have to finish hard mode and 1 or 2 super bosses, and I'm done. Okay, first off, let's just look at the normal animation. Here's the Go Red shading table. So this is how we do smooth shading, and it's just white light from 0 to 31. I don't think I need the sprint statement. I can do it without it. And there's Bud.Animation, and then the animation loop, I believe is. Well, there's a rotation step. Honestly, I don't really need a rotation right now. Process frame. That is okay. I'm confused now. How do you determine 0.1 and 11? What does that refer to in seconds?
11 is the maximal frame. So you have 100 and how many frames you have? 180.
So maybe
so there will be 180.
But each if we're running at 60 frames, right? Let's do some math.
Yeah, then you should add
0.5. So 0.5 times 60 will get us 30 frames. Yeah. I feel ashamed that I just typed that into a calculator. All right. Yeah. So we almost certainly will need an FBX output for that, because just exporting a wireframe that's associated with a different mesh is not going to get us those weights. What I could do is I could try to put together a post processor that just did like a nearest neighbor kind of estimation, but that's still probably, you know, not as good as learning FBX. Anyway. Let's oh crap. I forgot. Let's do your animation first. That was at 11. 0.1. And then we'll redo with my animation afterwards.
There were some other formats I was looking at. The old 3D software Milkshade can export some for games, so one of those might be useful.
Right, but like we need to be able to support Blender because that's going to be like we can't keep sticking to old tools.
Well, most of those are in Blender as well, but I don't know how well they are supported.
So this is a pre-prepared animation from Ray's little character there that looks like was it Sackboy or something like that from Little Big Planet?
I don't know. This is the best I could model.
I mean, those quads kind of look like animation vectors inside of Blender, which I didn't think they would. Anyway, I'm getting the weeds there. Let's switch over to my thing, the cylinder. Now, good chance we don't see it because it's too big and the camera's too close, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. I wouldn't do weights on the Saturn. I would do weights in the interpreter that we're using to transfer it into the Saturn. So like the model converter, like if we use that, we would just add in a function that takes in that second mesh and adds weights. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. I'm pretty sure that we're too close. Minus 80. It's 50. Or X, Y, Z. So
that's the target. You don't need to change the camera target. Just
Y. Okay. Well, the camera location we can keep it on, and we can just back up by 100 even. It's probably fine.
With skeletal on Saturn, we probably evade weights completely.
Weights,
the vertex weights. I would probably evade that completely. Just have each vertex be bound to a single bone and leave it at that.
Well, I don't think that's super practical considering like joints and stuff. But I believe if you keep the weights as shifts, like multiples of 2, I think it would still you could optimize it so that's not super slow.
Well, if you do not do weights, you can actually do much easier way of storing the model. So we backed up sufficiently, but I don't think we're not seeing what we should be seeing. I don't know where we are even, so
yeah. What I'll do is
can you open the OBJ at one of them in a text file so we can see how big the object really is?
Okay. Model. Where did I leave it? That's a sample. That's the output. The input. Minus 20. Minus 20.
Okay, so it's 20 big.
It's 20 tall, but like the in and outs don't seem to exceed 10 on each side, and then we divided that by 2, so it should be 10 big actually on the output. Now the other thing is, did the material map properly? If we open up the MTL with .png, okay, well that looks correct.
Well, the converter did say it exported something and it did create a texture for it, so it's there in the file.
Here, what I'll do is I'll make in2, and I'll only do like a couple frames of animation. So let's do like 8 frames. Oh, Oh, no. Okay, well, I gotta copy the wood back over. And it could just be a size thing. It might have just like choked on the sheer weight of the model, because it was like 400 something kilobytes.
Well, you can also just add printf and see if it's running at all.
All right. Let's see the new output. 20 kilobytes. It's a little bit more reasonable. Now we have 8 frames of animation. So if we make it, go from 1 to 8, it should be fine. There we go. I think it's literally just a size thing.
Change the camera target to be all zeros, so it's looking at the origin point of the world.
Well, the middle should be at minus like 5 or something. So I'll do it I'll do a -5 offset. But we should still see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If I go from at +1 up to 8, that should work, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny. There we go, -5. Oh yeah, we were probably way too high up even. And we can get a lot closer than that. We can go within like 20, I think. It'll take a chunk of the screen. Oh yeah,
I don't know what is the near plane cutoff distance.
Well, I mean, going from 20 down to like 5 to 10 should be fine. Yeah, we still can't see it. Here, let me do a print. Little print thing.
You can print the time.
Yeah. Time is %f, comma, time. And if it's running, that means we're doing something weird with the draws not working. It could be that the texture broke it somehow, but I don't think it did. Not printing. So it choked out on, probably on load.
Yeah, for some reason.
Let's see what happens after we load it. What's the second argument in animation object?
That's the Gorat offset.
All right, so that should be correct. Let's do line 20. Try to load Cinepak. Loaded. Yeah. Okay, I'll take that. It didn't load it. So let's see. Cil-in.nyaa. Did I misspell it? Cylind. Oh. Incorrect file name.
We found it.
That was it. That
yeah.
Yeah. All right. I thought there'd be like an exception thrown or something like a hey, file not found kind of error thing deal?
I must have not done it inside the animated object in the sample itself.
Also, to be fair, I'm running in release mode, not debug mode, which is my mistake.
Yeah, so that would not throw error as well.
Now we're still not seeing it, but at least it's not crashed.
And it's animating something.
It's trying to.
So now it's somewhere in the world.
Yep. Okay, so let's take your advice again. Let's look at it from 0.
No, camera location must be something else than camera target. So location would be.
We're backwards. Z20. We're going.
Yeah.
We're behind in Z. We're looking forward. That should work.
I would put, just for safety, I would put 30 in there. Because the object is 10 large, so you get...
Okay. You know what? I'll do 50. You think it's near plane cold?
Probably. I know the near plane is pretty far for it being a near plane, so...
Yeah, that's why I always set like SL 7 or something like that. There we are. No, it was the near plane culling. We have to... how do you set the screen display level in SRL? Is there a thing that we can do?
Yeah, there is inside Scene 3D.
Alright, let's find it. Set near clip correction.
Yep.
Alright. How do we set this? 7? Is that a valid?
Let me see. Let me see documentation for it.
No, that's a boolean. No, we need something that sets the level according to SGL's documentation. Let's
set the depth display level.
Yeah, there we go. Set depth display level. All right, let's see.
Also, do not set it inside a while.
What? Ooh! Whoa! Whoa! Okay, that would have been bad. I thought it was up here. I thought it was near initialize. Yeah, that's what I always put it here. But 7 is like 1/28th, right?
Yeah, if you look at the comment, it will tell you what it is. And inside documentation, it even has an image.
Okay. Well, I think that allows us to get a little bit closer again. So let's test that again, and then we'll try to do the full animation and see if we don't break the whatchamacallit. Break the memory buffer.
There should be plenty of memory for this mesh.
No, for this one, but I'm talking about the 180 frames of it. Like, I want to.
Yeah, I'm talking about that one. I'm talking about that one. There should be plenty of memory for it. I hope. If not, you can always shove it to LVRAM and leave it at that.
Let's do -20 real quick, just because I want to fit the whole animation in here. Oh, Lemmy, thanks for the sub. I mean, honestly, I don't recommend, like, okay, I do ask people to go to my Patreon, but that's a different thing. But like on Twitch, like you don't have to give money to me on Twitch, like unless you're like extremely well off. I prefer the Bezos bucks. So like if you have Amazon Prime, I will take Jeff Bezos' money, but you don't have to spend your money on me like that. Or if you want to be my patron. What, I probably shouldn't be saying that because Twitch will cancel me or something. Alright, I think we're ready. For Mom Spaghetti.
We are ready.
Ah, jeez. It's word wrapped. Anyway, the point is, Lemmy, I deeply appreciate it. Because I don't know that anyone's actually gifted a sub on my behalf before. I think you have to actually spend real money for that, don't you?
Yeah, you have.
if I meet you at a con one of these days, I'll buy you a non-convention sourced piece of food. Obviously, I would, you know, it's not worth it buying food inside of a convention hall, but you know. Incidentally, I do plan on being at MegaCon this year with Millennium Chain 90 running the Starcade, and I will also see if they want me to do a panel. So I will throw that up there as like, hey, we can do a homebrew panel, because I do plan on doing that charity arcade event with Shane again. You know, assuming he negotiates it. I need to catch up with him if he's still on stream. Shout out to Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. Alrighty then. We've replaced the cylinder with a much bigger cylinder. No double entendre intended. Let's compile and see if it even loads. Oh, wait. No. We want to change the animation. So, we said 0.5. Was it 0.5 or 2? Or 180? Compile again.
I think it will choke.
I would not be at all surprised, and if it does, we'll
I know how to fix it. I know how to fix it if it chokes.
I mean, honestly, I would never actually want to try to do 180 frames of non-interpolated cylinder movement. I think that would be kind of insane. Okay. So we need to back off. We need to back off a bit.
No, you can fix it. You can fix it. You can fix it.
No.
Just go to the model object.hpp.
Model object.hpp. Yeah.
Yeah. Just go to the model object.hpp and go to line 304.
Sorry, I'm changing because we also definitely need to back up though, because the cylinder's hitting us in the face. Line 104. 104, 114, 140.
304. 304.
Okay.
Yeah. It's model header, that's 308 on mine. Doesn't matter. The 299 line, there's a new, just type LV new in there on 299.
Okay. So we LW, they'll work.
Yeah, LW.
Okay. So that's we're making the file buffer in low work RAM as opposed to by default the new would probably be high work RAM.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got some extra space in the work RAM to do animations. That high work RAM we might be overrun with the ridiculous file size. Anyway, let's recompile and see if we can't do that. And I think that'll be stream for the day because we are a little bit past your bedtime if I recall correctly. And I do have several things I need to get done today. All right, let's see. We backed up a bit. We lowered the camera so the whole thing's always in view. But we also added a little bit more memory leeway. Yeah. Oh. And like I said, I didn't activate the dual plane display mode, so you can't see the inside. They're back face called. But
it works.
It works. With a few hacks and remember, it's always annoying when I jump back into animating on the Saturn because I always have to relearn the same lessons. Like I gotta fix the display level, I gotta fix the camera pointing. But once it is working, once you get your setup again, you have a little bit of fun with it. And notice how the thing has it. So the loop is correct. So like the top stays the top between each loop. Anyway, I think that's it. We ran a little bit longer, but we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of stuff, and we did like a soup to nuts animation both in Cinepak and in Nyaa. I didn't think we'd get through everything, but I'm glad we did. I'm glad ReyeMe could join me today. I'm glad we can have somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 people on stream. I'm very glad that Lemmy could give me a sub. Now it provides me some pressure. I got to keep this stream schedule going on. I think I gotta see what time during the week now I gotta keep this up to make to make serious cupcakes' time worth it, right? So we'll see how that does, and I will try to split off a little less time for Secret Project, a little bit more time for doing some Saturn dev work. I think what we're going to try to do is I got to talk with Seven Shades again about how he plans on doing some height map stuff, because I think he beat me to the punch there because I keep talking about it and not doing it. And so height map can be like how we walk around and how the enemies can walk around, and then we can finally get a real display of a combat demo if we can just get the animations to work properly. Donut, hi.
Yeah. Also keep nagging him about. Also keep nagging him about the converter for the CubeCat tile map format.
binary converter for VDP2 plane, right?
Yeah.
Donut, if I didn't say I appreciate you, it's because that's a lie. I do appreciate you. Okay, so don't feel left out there just because Lemmy Hawkins has you financially beat out. Right. Like if we're on the MySpace, you know, top 8 was it top 8 or was it top 10? I think it was top 8. If we're on the MySpace top 8. You know, you're still on there. I mean, right now, Lemmy might be number 2 right after Tom, but you're up there. You're up there. Like your profile picture is visible with the background MIDI playing on my profile there from 2002 or something like that. Right. It's Tom, Lemmy, Serious Cupcakes. And then everyone else, you know, you, Shane, Ray, you know, the whole gang. At some point, I got to cut off at 8, though. So, you know, number 9, SOL. Anyway, thank you, everyone, for joining me. I had a lot of fun on the stream. I learned a few things. Hopefully, someone else is able to learn from the stream once I get this push over to YouTube. I now have to go do a lot of, you know, adult preparation stuff for just having a weekday of work ahead of me after 42 days of fun employment, you know, back during the shutdown. And then what I will try to do is I will see if I can't set aside some time, maybe Wednesday night or something like that, and play around with, maybe we'll just do some Blender. Maybe we'll just animate a fighter guy. Or I'll make a Dobar-Chu. Like, finally get, like, actual lore-accurate animals into the scenario build. Anyway, that's all I got. Ray, I don't know if you have anything you want to say to everyone before we sign off.
No. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, everyone. That's good enough time as any. Normally I say good night, everyone, but it's 3 in the afternoon for me. So good night, Ray. Good afternoon, everyone else. And bye.
Bye.